So, hello everyone, and welcome to our Wednesday night community call. My name is Emily Flores. I'll be your host for tonight. I'm really excited to kind of dive into this topic, surviving the holidays. Lots of people feel a lot of anxiety around this time. There's lots of food involved, obviously, when we're talking about holidays, and we would really just love to give you some strategies and tips on how to survive the holidays without necessarily going completely off track. So, just to introduce myself again, my name is Emily Flores. I live in Southern California. I'm a mom of two little boys, 5 and 3, and they keep me very busy. But I'm also a client. I lost my weight 5 years ago, but I feel very strongly that kind of like once a client, always a client, because it's never like a journey that's just over because you reached your health goal. So I really had a lot of weight to lose after I had my first son. I had put on a lot more than I should have, and everyone around me just always told me not to worry, that because I was breastfeeding, the weight was going to fall right off. And that was not what happened for me. I was really, really struggling, and nothing I was doing was really working. And luckily, we have an amazing nursing mothers program, and that's what I did, and it enabled me to lose almost 50 pounds in 4 months, which is incredible. But I think what I brag about most these days is that was 5 years ago, and I've kept my weight off, and it's not something that I have to obsess about or try really hard to maintain. It's something that I actually learned how to do for the first time in my life. So let's get right into it. Let's talk about the holidays. I think a lot of people get into this trap of, what's the point of focusing on health during November and December? There's too many holiday parties. There's too much this, there's too much that. Well, I'm here to tell you that we have about 234 meals to go till the end of the year. And so many of you are stressing about what is maybe 5 to 7 meals out of 234. So we're really only talking about Thanksgiving, Christmas party, maybe another Christmas party, Christmas Eve, Christmas itself. And there's always New Year's Eve. If you're into sports, there's New Year's Day football. But really, why should we put off what we ultimately want just because of 5 to 7 meals? Seems a little silly when you, hopefully when you hear it like that. So we have a couple options. Really, we have 4. The first option is, really staying on course. So asking yourself, would you really like the benefit of staying on a structured health plan with the support of your coach in order to have success? You know that you're going to feel great. You're going to have the energy to spend time with people and actually feel up to it. You're going to continue to lose weight, which is awesome. You're not going to have the hunger and cravings that often make it really hard to say no to things that might be a trigger for you. And it really takes the stress out of what we eat, because if you're on our 5-in-1 program, you're really only worried about what to eat once a day. And then you get to stay in fat burn, which is great. Then there's option 2. So, maybe compromising a little bit, which is fine. It's all about choices. So, staying on your plan, except for maybe the main holiday meals, and using healthy small meals for the rest of the day. So it doesn't have to be all or nothing. It's really just being aware that you have the option, and that if you need to get back into fat burn, just knowing that realistically it's going to take a couple days to get there. That's okay. But during that time, you will have the lower energy and the hunger. You will have slowed down weight loss. So if that's something that's important to you, maybe you want to stick to option 1 and just kind of asking yourself if it's worth it. Option 3 would be to consider maybe going into more of a maintenance mode. So where you're still eating 6 times a day, but you're choosing, to offset less favorable choices. So you're continuing to be mindful of healthy choices, but you're still using really good portion sizes. You are not going to gain weight if you do things this way. Instead of putting on, on average, they say people gain 7 to 10 pounds during the holiday season. And still with option three, you're preventing yourself from doing that. So it's not a bad choice at all. But you just have to realize that you don't have the benefit of fat burn. And so just things to consider. And I put option four, but really I hope that none of you choose it. It's just to return to your old ways and have no plan at all. And as you can see, it's a sad choice. So maybe you don't want to choose that. So what can we do? I think it's always best to have a plan. So definitely connect with your coach, talk to them, plan ahead, what events you have going up. Maybe family members who are like, oh, eat more. Why isn't your plate full? Or, oh, come on, it's just one thing. That can be a big challenge for a lot of us when we are around family. And not going hungry, definitely eating before you go. I'm a big fan of drinking a shake or eating a bar on the way to an event because my willpower is zero if I show up hungry. And just, always focusing on friends and family over everything else. So instead of focusing on the food, really thinking about and cherishing the time that you're spending with your loved ones. And being an example, bring a healthy dish. I like to bring healthy dishes that my family they don't even realize that it's a healthy dish. And they're always really surprised. Oh, that was really good what you brought. And I'm like, guess what? That's something that you can eat on my plan. So I chose some really yummy looking things that would be completely appropriate on plan. My personal favorite, I like to do loaded mashed cauliflower. And it's a big hit. So, come prepared. Thanksgiving isn't that tough. There's always meat and vegetable, and then you bring a cool side dish and you're good to go. Being mindful of your choices. So just, again, it's all about choices. You can do whatever you want to do. Dr. A teaches us the method of stop, challenge, and choose, meaning, stop and really think about it before you go for it. So is eating this in your long-term best interest? If you eat this now, how are you going to feel after? That's a big one for me. I would always crave things. And then I'd allow myself to have it and realize that I didn't feel so great after. And that was actually a good learning tool for me. So asking yourself, how am I going to feel tomorrow if I have this thing? How will I feel a year from now if I continue to make decisions like this and keep putting off and putting off and putting off and falling backwards in my program? And knowing that you already know what it tastes like, and you need to decide whether or not you're going to choose to have it. This food is not going anywhere. It'll always be there. You just need to decide whether or not it's that important to have in that moment. And just remembering that this is all your choice and we have the power to choose. So some strategies, tips: position yourself away from the food. So do not sit with all of that food in front of you. Make your plate and kind of try to sit away from it. Holding your water bottle in your dominant hand at all times. For those of us on program, I feel like you could find any of us, we always have a giant water bottle. And drinking enough water that's a big one. You're not walking around hungry, and you're not grabbing for food if you're holding your water bottle. So choosing to use the smallest plate available, really helpful tool. Dr. A talks about the 9-inch plate, and that really the 9-inch plate is big enough for everything that we should be having. Taking the time to really eat slowly, chew your food, enjoy what you're tasting, and maybe offering to be on cleanup duty. That way you're not sitting around contemplating going back for seconds. And if you're anything like me, I used to just sit around eating what was in front of me because it was in front of me. I wasn't hungry. I didn't necessarily want it, but it was there. And if it was there, I was going to eat it. And another tip is just to freeze leftovers immediately. That's helpful too. Tips to stay focused. So plan ahead, like I said, don't go hungry. Don't arrive anywhere hungry. It's like the grocery store. You'll end up walking out with $200 worth of stuff when you went in for a couple items. So, move around before munching. Don't park yourself in front of food trays like the one I've shown below. I know for me, in order to kind of avoid talking to people, I would often sit in front of the food and use that to look busy. I wasn't necessarily hungry, but it made me look like I was doing something when I was trying to avoid talking to people. So, also making mocktails, or just knowing that if you are going to drink, kind of what are the best choices. Vodka is always a better choice. Champagne has really low sugar content. Red wine. So just knowing if you are going to drink, make a smarter choice. And like we said before, just really focusing on family and friends and not the food. Some extra tips that don't have anything to do with what's going in your mouth are just, making sure you're getting enough sleep, making sure that you're moving, taking a walk, meditating, relaxing, and self-care. If we're pouring into ourselves in the way we should, we don't necessarily feel the need to fill that hole with food. So those are the tips that I have for you. So our first presenter up, she's an amazing client on program. Her name is Sandi Colon-Jennings, and I'm super excited for her to share her story with you guys.
Drinking a lot more water than I thought that I would, and I think that's helped me a lot. It's also cleared up my skin. But I just, I got to the point where I've tried every diet there is, and I kept failing and failing, and I would get depressed and think, gosh, okay, next week I'm going to try something different. And I would try that, and it didn't work. And then I just started uh, seeing Alexandra on here, and I'm like, oh my, she's so beautiful. Look at her. And then I tried to see all the pictures that she was posting, and I'm like, I think I could do this. I got to do something. I don't care what it takes. I have to do something. I wasn't feeling good. Um, like my muscles were sore. I was tired all the time. I actually was taking naps at work on my lunch hour, and because I was so tired all the time, just did not. I felt old. I don't know how else to explain it. I just felt old, and I thought, you know what? I'm not that old. I need to do something. So I got on this, and the first few days was kind of tough for me, but then it's like the light popped on, and I just been so excited ever since. I'm really excited, and I'm really proud of myself because it's been a long, long time that I've lost even this much weight in this amount of time. I was exercising a little bit in the water, and I think that's helped me, but I've learned not to do that vigorously. So other than that, I mean, I just think it's a great program. I look at people on here, they look beautiful. I mean, they should just be so proud of themselves. And I hope I could get to that point where I can be like that. So I do know my clothes are fitting a little bit different. I know it's only 13 pounds, but they fit a little different. Um, and when I look at myself in the mirror, I think, oh, geez, did that go down a little bit or didn't it? So then I just measure myself and I see, wow, it did. But yeah, I'm very excited, and I have the greatest coach anybody could ask for. I mean, she has kept me going. Without her, I wouldn't have stuck with it. She's a wonderful person, and I really appreciate all the help she's given me. So hopefully I'll stick with it, and maybe this time next year I'll be very healthy. So that's my story.
Thank you so much, Sandi. Your energy, I loved it. And I just got off that call and I couldn't stop smiling. I was like, she needs to share her story with everyone. So we're super proud of you. And, exactly what you said. I think what makes our program so different is the support. And it's so nice to not have to walk this journey by yourself.
Yeah.
So I am confident that you're going to be able to reach your goal and come back and report to us then. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Yeah. Okay, so next up, Aaron Murillo. Are you there?
I'm here. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. I have the same exact thing that you have. So my voice is coming in.
Oh, join the
Today's
club.
here. I'm gonna roll with it. I'm gonna take advantage of the opportunity.
Yeah. So, Aaron, you're coming to us from Southern California, just like me. And I just love if you could share a bit about what's happened for you.
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Aaron Murillo. I'm from Baldwin Park, California. I'm 39 years old, and I work in law enforcement. So a pretty stressful job. Um, Throughout my life, I have battled with obesity and my weight. It's gone up, it's gone down, it's gone left to right, every which way. I've tried different health plans, different diets, and unfortunately, with a diet, you lose the weight and it comes right back. It's like a rubber band effect. And I did CrossFit. I even did that for about 5 to 7 years, off and on. And it just I got strong, but I was still not eating right. I didn't have all the information. I didn't put everything together. And unfortunately, you stop working out and the weight just comes right back on because you haven't done anything to change how you relate to food and how you relate to stress and so forth. And then a couple of years ago, about 5 years ago, I was diagnosed with like a breathing issue. So I went from not having any respiratory issues to having to be on an inhaler and like Symbicort and all kinds of stuff. It's just been crazy. But with that, they put me on a steroid, which caused me to gain an additional 80 pounds, which was a nice surprise. I loved that. It was nice. But the 80 pounds came on not just because of the medication. It was also because of bad habits, eating improperly, not eating enough. I was to the point where I was only eating maybe once a day. And it was just, and I kept going, why am I not losing weight? I'm only eating once a day. And I was like, well, that's my body's in starvation mode. It's just holding on to everything I had. So I was fortunate enough to have a friend, Candace, who saw what I was going through and reached out and was like, I've known you my entire life. This is not how you want to be living. And especially since my daughter was born, I found myself at the time going down that road of not being an active dad, not able to keep up, just like Sandi, tired, not getting enough sleep. I was snoring, just everything bad. It just kept compiling on. So, when she introduced me to the program, she talked to me about it, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna make a change, and I'm gonna see if this works. And I am in week 7 now, and I've down 25 pounds in 7 weeks, and I'm super excited to see what comes next because I know that it's not a matter of if I'm going to reach my goal; it's a matter of when. And that's the amazing part. That's the exciting part because it's going to come off. I'm able to stick to the plan a lot more easily now that I'm in it. It's just kind of becoming second nature with food. I don't think about it as much. My relationship with food has changed. I no longer deal with my stress with food. It's been a process, but I've had my health coach and the support of my family to really keep me focused. And I keep looking at the big picture. And before I gained all that weight, I used to be very active. I used to swim. I was a big swimmer, rock climber. I loved to mountain bike. I kayaking. I love being active. And the weight took me out of that life. And not the possibility, but just knowing that I'm going to get that life back and that it's going to stick. And once this weight is gone, it's gone for good. I'm not letting it come back because I'm going to implement the healthy habits that I'm learning through the program. And I'm going to looking at food in a different way. It literally is to fuel my body so that I can be productive, be a great father, husband, and just happy in my own skin. And that little D word called depression, that's just going to be put in a box and that's just going to stay away. And it's never coming back. And I'm super stoked and I'm excited to be on this journey.
Hi, Aaron. I love it. Thank you so much for sharing.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, guys.
Your family is your daughter is going to thank you years down the road that you decided to do this. It's going to change everything.
Oh, I look forward to snowboarding with her and mountain biking and just watching her explore the world.
Yeah.
And learning I love being outdoors and nature, and we love camping and stuff. And it's going to be amazing to watch her do all that stuff and just implement that into her life. And hopefully when she grows up, those will be things that she carries on with her family.
For sure. Oh, well, thank you so much again for sharing. We were
No,
so
thank
happy
you.
you could be on. Awesome. Aren't these stories amazing, you guys? I love it. Okay, and our last share speaker person is Sabrina. I unmuted you, Sabrina. Hi, we're coming to Hawaii now. We're taking a trip. So tell us about your story.
Well, this is my second try. I tried about 2 years ago and I lost some weight, but the health thing wasn't there. I wasn't ready for the health thing. I didn't care. Like, I think I celebrated my first week with like drinks with my friends. So clearly I wasn't on board with the healthiness of it. This time around, I was just going through so many changes with work, and I moved into my own place, and I was just still like, I felt like things were settled down, but I was still tired all the time, and like anxiety, and like pretty much really depressed, and like not wanting to leave the house. And I was just like, this has got to change. Like, this is silly. I'm only 30. Like, I have my whole life ahead of me. Like, you need to do something about this. So I ordered a box and I got it. My family came for vacation and I was just, all right, let's get all this out of your system. Like, have drinks at dinner, like get dessert because you're done for a little bit. And the day after they left, I started and I was following it to plan and actually going into the fat burn. And once that happened, I was like, wow, like I didn't feel like I wanted to stay in bed all day. Like I was like, all right, let's get up. Like, what's going on? What are you guys doing? Beach? Like, let's do this. And now it's been 5 weeks and I'm down 18 pounds, which is like so crazy to me. And I just keep seeing it. This number goes smaller and smaller. And I'm like, all right, like I got this. Like, this is totally cool. Like, we can do this. And I'm learning about myself too, because I still struggle. Like, yeah, I've cheated a couple of times. So, I mean, I'm only human, and I've been like trying to journal and stuff. So when I do feel those emotions, because I'm definitely an emotional eater, I get it out. I write it out and I let it go. And then I'm like, okay, I don't need to go to the refrigerator and go munch on something, because it was just my mind telling me what I've been conditioned to do my whole life is eat when you're feeling anything, pretty much. So yeah, I just feel really good, and I just want people to feel as good as I do, because it's possible. It's super possible.
It is. And yeah, I mean, you'd been on plan only for a couple weeks, and a coworker already had asked, and you decided that you were going to pay it forward and coach.
Yeah, I was like, you're like, all right, you're gonna coach? And I'm like, and yeah, she's already like 3 days in, and she's texting me saying that she feels so good, and she got up out of bed and she did all of her errands that she had to do like way quicker than she normally does. And I'm like, yeah, it works, guys. It works.
Yeah. And that's going to be amazing for your own program and your own accountability, because like they say, health coaches with Optavia are 5 times more likely to keep their weight off. And that's really what we're all aiming to do, is not make this a temporary thing, but a forever thing. So thank you so much for sharing your story, girl. Yay. All right. So back to sharing really quick. I just want to wrap up. All right. So really what I want you guys to think about and kind of ask yourself is, if you aren't a client, what are you waiting for? It is not worth putting off your health for 2 more months just because of maybe 5 to 7 days of holiday, when you could get started right away. So definitely reach out to whoever invited you to be on, or whoever your coach is currently. And really, my biggest message is, and honestly something that I had to really learn myself, was to take the focus off the food. Like, I needed to learn how to really enjoy people and be social without food and drinks always having to be a part of it. And for a lot of us, it's cultural. It's just, that's how you interact with other people. So it's not easy to unlearn that. And it doesn't mean that you can't eat, but we can learn to make better choices. And that's really what it's about. So, I believe in you guys so much, and I know you can do it. We all have choices. So this kind of wraps up the portion of like celebrating clients and talking about coping skills and stuff. If you'd like, I want to invite all of you to stay on. We're just going to hear a couple more amazing stories from people who started off as clients, and maybe they're still on their journey or whatever, but like Sabrina and Aaron too, they've decided they're not going to wait to pay it forward until they're at their goal weight. They're going to help people now, because that's what we're about. So I'm just going to move right into that and share some more stories for you guys. So first up, and I'm going to have to stop sharing because I have to find Brittany and unmute her. But we have Brittany. All right, Brittany, can you speak?
Yes.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yes. So tell us a little bit about you.
Okay, so as Emily said, my name is Brittany, and I live in South Carolina. So I am a wife and a mom to a 3-year-old little boy, and I started a program back in April. I lost 22 pounds in just over 2 months, which was awesome. That was my goal. I never thought I'd get there, but the weight I lost wasn't as exciting as what I gained with this program. So just a couple weeks into the program, like a lot of people, I knew this was something really awesome. So I wanted to make sure that I shared it with everyone that I could. As a busy working mom, it fit into my lifestyle and my schedule, and it worked. So everyone needed to know about it. When I originally started coaching, I just kind of wanted to pay for my own personal plan, or maybe check some things off my never-ending home decorating list, or be able to travel back to South Dakota to see family more often. My goals were kind of small, and an extra couple $100 was like all I was in it for. That came so easily that I decided to reach a little higher, never anticipating that I would ever get there. I wanted to quit my job by the end of the year, my full-time job. So my husband works second shift. So during the week, my son and I don't see him a lot. We're kind of on our own, and he works a lot of weekends too. So I was just wanting more time with my husband and more time as a family. And so I really wanted to leave my full-time job and have the flexibility of working from home. So like I said, my goal was by the end of the year, and to my surprise, I was on track to reach that in September. So in September, I reached executive director. I left my full-time job October 1st, and it's kind of just been crazy. It's been awesome to just have a life of time freedom. I get to spend time with my husband every morning before he goes to work. We spend our weekends doing fun things when he is not working, and I'm more present for my son because I'm not doing all the mom duties after work. I get those done while he's at preschool, and we get to have fun when he's here. So I never thought I could earn a full-time income doing this, and it came so easily, and I'm fulfilled because I get to help other people do this and start their health journeys, and I feel like I have another purpose. So if you are wanting a little extra money or a lot of extra money, want to leave your full-time job, something like that, like it's definitely doable. If you're a client on program, there's people who want to do this program with you. And all you have to do is ask and offer and share your story with them. And the opportunities are amazing within this company. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, thank you. Yeah, you've completely blown us away. And yeah, I remember you saying your goal and the time frame, and you blew that out of the water. So it's awesome. It's been inspiring to watch. All right, next up we have Camilla. She's in Northern California. Camilla, I unmuted you, so you should be able to share.
Oh, hi. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, everybody. My name's Camilla. Like Emily said, I live in Northern California. I'm 30 years old, and I have 3 wonderful children who are the reason why I even really ever started this program to begin with. Last year, actually, in December, I saw a post that Emily had done of a before and after, and I was postpartum with my baby, who's now a year and a half, and I knew I needed big results, and so I reached out to her, and just the approach was so genuine and calm and smooth. I knew I needed what she had for me, and so that was my Christmas present from my husband, was starting program, and it's the best program ever. So of course we if you do the program, you start seeing results pretty instantly, and so I did, and I kind of started to talk about it on Facebook, and so my coach and her mentor were like, hey, like you should really start coaching, like you'd be really good at it. And I have done other programs where I was a quote unquote coach, and it was never a positive environment for me. It was really draining and just not encouraging. If you weren't doing well, then you weren't anybody. And so I was really afraid of that happening again. I was like, no, I'll just share this with people.
Uh-oh.
Into program. I'm here. Sorry. Did I?
Oh, you're fine. You did, but you're back.
I'm back. Okay. So, I didn't realize I needed the people until I really started diving into sharing and talking more. Like, there's so many people on this planet who need us and who need support and just friendship. And there's not a lot of that necessarily in other programs. And I really feel connected to the team that I'm a part of is just so encouraging and loving. And every time I'm around them via like Zooms like this, I get so emotional because it's like they bring out the best in me. And growing up, I didn't have a lot of girlfriends. I was homeschooled. And when I did try to go to school, yeah, that didn't work. So this community that coaching has allowed me and given me is probably my favorite gift out of this entire thing, is just really being surrounded by wonderful people who constantly challenge me and push me to be a better version of myself. Like being on a call with all of you right now, it's freaking me out, but hey, I'm here. So get uncomfortable, do things that maybe you wouldn't think of doing, or things that scare the nana out of you. Like, go for it. Reach out to your mentor, reach out to your coach, and dive in. Like, there's people who want what you have, and if you're not talking about it, they're not going to know how to approach you. So community, these people are just incredible, and that's it.
Oh, thanks, girl. And you've enriched us. You don't even realize how much you've brought to our community too. So it's definitely a give and take, and we love you. Okay, next up, I want to bring on Camilla. If you could mute yourself, I can't find you again. And then Candace is our last speaker. And Candace, are you there? Oh, wait. Just kidding. Candace?
Yes, hey.
Okay, cool.
Perfect.
So I wanted to introduce you. Candace and I actually go back to high school. We were actually on dance team together. And sometimes the best thing about coaching is who it brings back into your life. And Candace moved to the East Coast. And, life happens. People get married. And I'm just so happy that she's back in my life. So I want to just pass the torch to you and have you share a bit about what coaching has done for you.
Awesome. Thank you guys for having me on. I actually have my husband who's never been on Zoom before. This is the first time. Anyways, I wanted to talk a little bit about how coaching has changed my life. Obviously, just like a lot of you, whether you're starting out or have been on program for a while, you have experienced what physically has changed for you doing the program. That I lost 40 pounds doing this 2 years ago after I had twins. And oh my God, I just, for the first time, saw myself differently. So much baggage was taken away when I lost my weight, emotionally too. And I actually privately coached my sister for 6 months and didn't tell a single soul that I did it. I work as a nurse in the NICU, and I had a lot of people around me, and I didn't tell anybody. And I just didn't want to put it out there. I had a lot of fear of judgment. And people basically started banging down my door. Like, what are you doing? You're literally changing, shrinking, looking amazing. You just had twins. How are you even energetic? Like, all these things. And so I decided that I was going to be more public with the support of Emily and everybody else here. And it really kind of changed my life. Obviously, it just gave me some more freedom. So when my little boys were about a year old, I noticed that they were both premature. One of them, Grady, they're both 3. He was definitely delayed. They were both getting a lot of early intervention and therapy, and we actually finally were diagnosed. He was diagnosed with autism, and it just like hit me. I was actually pregnant with my 3rd child at that time. So we were like, oh my God. And suddenly we were thrown into a life of therapy, like hours and hours and hours. It stunned me, to be honest. I worked really cool 12-hour shifts, had lots of freedom. So I thought with my job prior, but this was different. I had to be home Monday through Friday. I wanted to be engaged. Like, the whole point of being a parent with a child with autism is to get them to be social and to like look at you and to train them how to talk and to see you and to look into your eyes. And I wasn't going to go to work. So 6 months later, my 2nd son was diagnosed with autism too. And so we earned a lot of therapy, and they're doing so good, you guys, but they're doing so good because I get to coach. And I'm home every day. I actually work still in the NICU like 2 or 3 shifts a month because I love my job, and it actually keeps me sane to leave my house. But oh my God, this has just allowed me to be with my kids, be with my husband, who are my priority. But I still get to be fulfilled in helping other people. And I'm freaking making awesome money doing this. Like, I can't believe the gift that I have. And hands down, my boys are doing so well because I get to do this and be with them. So that's my story. And thanks for Kenny for being my support.
We love you, Kenny. We know you're the backbone of Candace doing this. And it takes a village, like it's not, we talk about the freedom to work from home, but it's also difficult when you have little ones. And if you don't have kind of your whole family on board with you, it's difficult to be successful. So we love you too, Kenny, for always having Candace's back. And I feel like you're a part of the team too. So yeah, thank you guys so much. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to show you guys kind of the next step. I feel like the evolution of doing the program for me, yes, it started with weight loss, but the next step after that was really, how am I going to keep this off? And how am I going to, how is this going to last a lifetime? And I really liken it to 12-step programs where you basically get yourself in order. And then what's the last step? You sponsor other people, because it's really hard to hold on to that goodness if you're not also giving it away. And so, we don't have a set goal for you. I'm happy if someone wants to help one person. It's not about, not everyone wants a big business. Lots of you love what you do for work, and that's fantastic. But that's what coaching has also allowed me. I was a full-time therapist before I had my babies, and I decided that really wasn't what I wanted to do anymore. I really wanted to focus on my own family. instead of kind of putting fires out with everyone else's family all the time. And I was able to match my income in 6 weeks, never went back. And that was 5 years ago. Have another little one, and I get to be home with them, supporting them, providing everything that they need, and not even working 40 hours a week. And I don't know any other situation where that would happen. And also I get to hang out with my favorite people all day, all across the country on Zooms. So anyways, hope this was helpful and brought you guys value. Super appreciate you. Have a wonderful holiday tomorrow, and we'll see you next Wednesday for our community call. Bye, guys.